I started doing hair when I was 14 years old, and people were talking heavy crap about me. Sometimes this city can hate real bad. So till this day, I still get hated on from my city, but it's also a lot of love. I would never downplay the amount of love that I get in the city because honestly, all the hate is online. When I come across these people in person, it's nothing but love. I've never heard the things that people see on social media or encounter any of those things in person these days. So maybe it's just the internet thing.
Well, everybody's a keyboard gangster. That's what I call them. You a
Yeah.
keyboard gangster, but when you
Mhm.
when you in somebody's face, if you ain't talking the same thing, you really ain't about that life, partner. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. This is Warren Ballantyne, aka WB. This is the show you know as Common Ground, where we find solutions to problems. We don't point fingers. We try to uplift everybody. We try to be humanitarians in all things that we do. And look, my next guest, I'm just gonna say this, man. It's every now and then you get a guest that comes on the show that you're proud of, and you don't even know the person, but you're proud of them because you see the work that they're doing, and you see the heart that they have, and you see what they're doing for their community. This next young lady is doing just that. She's 22 years old. Listen to me, 22 years old, from the south side of Chicago, and already a millionaire. No, I'm not making that up. This ain't no fantasy island. This is real. 22, already a millionaire. Not because something fell into her lap, but because she stayed focused when the world around her was falling apart. She worked in salons where grown women twice her age hated on her. She survived jealousy, fights, getting jumped, moving city to city, raising herself since 10 years old, and still came out on top. While most people her age were trying to figure out who they were, she was already running a business, opening a salon at 18, making her first 100,000 at 16, traveling the world and teaching hundreds of people how to change their lives. This young sister built her name from scratch. She built her money from scratch, and she built her peace from scratch. And now she's here on Common Ground. Ariel Pryor, welcome. And Chicago is very proud of you, girl. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. And that was an amazing introduction. Oh, you know the story. You know.
Hey, look,
Wow.
look, look. When you're doing your public speaking, I can come out and introduce you. That'll be my job. Let me just
Yeah,
introduce you.
you got that real good. You listen, you just gave a whole what 5, 6, 7 years and 30 seconds.
Well, look, we are so proud of you. I'm born and raised on the south side of Chicago. Of course, Rick, who is producing the show, is born and raised on the south side of Chicago. We're so proud of you. And so, Ariel, I wanted the first question to be just to get to know you. You built your wealth early, and you built it on your terms. When did you first realize that you were on a different path from everybody else around you?
So I first realized that I was on a different path from everyone else when I just couldn't relate to certain things at my age. So the people around me, they were focused on, okay, I want to go to college. I'm trying to do this so I can get some scholarships. Like I'm trying to get in this career. I never wanted a career. So I was always going the opposite way of everyone. Right? So even in school, I didn't really gravitate towards trying to be that person super on top of my work and trying to have these colleges pick me and things like that. I was dancing in school. I was dancing, I started doing hair, I was selling chips, I was selling candy and fruities. I came to school worrying about the security guards taking my fruities I was trying to sell every day. So
Entrepreneur,
like
entrepreneur.
So, like, I didn't wake up in the morning, like, ready, like, for taking my test. I was waking up an hour early to go to the candy store, buy a bag of Fruities, bagging them up, and selling them, counting how much money I'm gonna make in school today. So, I always was just taking the entrepreneurship route, and I could not I could not stop focusing on it, but I was at a good school. I went to Gwendolyn Brooks. So, I graduated valedictorian when I was, in the 8th grade, and so I went to Gwendolyn Brooks, and that would put you in a direction of wanting to go to this amazing college. But once I got there, I'm like, I wanna be my own boss. I don't like I don't like the way it feels these teachers telling me what to do. I don't like the way it feels, not having the best grades and them making me feel like I'm not good enough because I don't have a certain grade, and I'm like, "Is this gonna matter when I get older?" Like, when I'm an adult, are people gonna be asking you, "What was your grades in your report card?" And it sounded crazy at the time because nobody wanted to hear that. The teachers didn't wanna hear that. The people around me didn't wanna hear that. I will literally would be in class like, "Man, when we get older, who about to ask us what was our grades on our report card? Man, we need to just focus on passing. We need to just focus on finishing. That's it. Just focus on finishing. They're not gonna ask you if you had A, a B, or a C, but nobody wanted to hear that. Nobody wanted to hear it. So, that's how I knew that I was heading in the opposite direction from everyone else. Just the way my mind was set growing up.
Imma tell you, I'm listening to you say that, and I'm sitting here just laughing and smiling to myself inside, right? Because what you just said is the honest to God truth, and I didn't realize that until I
Mhm,
became a grown person, right?
mhm,
Because I went to college. I went to got a master's. I went to law school, but it was
mhm.
in law school that I was taught it doesn't matter what your grades are, you just gotta graduate. They don't care what your grades are gonna be.
Exactly, man.
They actually said that in law school. They was like, "Look,
Yeah,
we don't. They don't care. Once you graduate from here, they do not care what you can be a C student. They don't care. You got the degree."
exactly, exactly. I noticed that very, very early,
Yeah,
very early.
and that's why I'm laughing and smiling because I'm like, damn, I wish I would have learned that. I wish I would have knew that at an earlier age, right? Because I was
Mhm,
putting all this emphasis on it. But the one good thing that I had was I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And when I went to college, my whole thought process was I'm going to major in something that I can create my own business out of. I didn't want to
mhm,
work for nobody else. So I
mhm.
think college is good if you go in there thinking like that. But if you go in there just to get a degree to work for somebody else, I totally agree with you. Entrepreneurship is the way to go. Be your own boss. Be your own boss.
Entrepreneurship. That's the way to go. You know, I've had a lot of conversations with people who are probably about, 20, 30 years older than me, and they would be like, "Man, I wish I knew what you did." They told us they tried to sell us the American dream. They told us to
Right.
go to school, get these student loans, and we didn't know the things that you knew, and that's something that we were actually scared of. They said that we were scared to take these type of risks that you all are taking. I'm making money on social media. I open businesses. Is the type of leverage that we have now. You cannot let the system brainwash you.
Yeah,
I
but see,
didn't
that's what
let society brainwash me.
that's what I love about your story because I mean, you made $100,000 at 16. I mean, think about
Yeah.
that. How did that feel at 16? Like I got $100,000. I made $100,000.
It was it was a blessing for sure. And it just felt like, "Oh, I'm going way further than this." I'm going way further than this because, I made the first $100,000 doing hair, but just 2 years before that, people were sharing my posts telling me I suck and I need to stop. She don't know what she doing. I was a self-taught hairstylist. So I started doing hair when I was 14 years old, and people were talking heavy crap about me. Sometimes this city can hate real bad. So I've
Real,
dealt with being
real,
hated
real.
till this day, I still get hated on from my city, but it's also a lot of love. So I would never downplay the amount of love that I get in the city because honestly, all the hate is online. When I come across these people in person, it's nothing but love. I've never heard the things that people see on social media or encounter any of those things in person these days. So maybe it's just the internet thing.
Well, everybody's a keyboard gangster. That's what I call them. You a
Yeah.
keyboard gangster, but when you
Mhm.
when you in somebody's face, if you ain't talking the same thing, you really ain't about that life partner.
Yeah, I've
So
never
don't
heard
don't
these things that people say. So
yeah,
people yeah, people used to talk about saying that I wasn't good enough and I did a bad job. It's just like I vividly remember somebody shared one of the ponytails I was doing. They was like, "She needs to just stop. She needs to stop now." And you would think that people would have some type of grace or consideration. Like, I'm 14 years old. I'm not old enough to go to hair school. I'm literally teaching myself and I'm putting myself out there. But I didn't stop. And I kept going. And literally 2 years later, I made my first $100,000 doing exactly that thing that they told me to stop doing because I was so bad at it. But I stuck to it and I actually got good. And so once I hit 16 years old and I was that good and I made my first six figures, the following year when COVID hit, I made $200,000 when I was 17 strictly doing hair. And, it's like, you gotta put the time in. You gotta put the time in and actually give yourself time to get good and block out the noise because it's gonna be so much noise. And if I woulda let that bother me, and then even working in the salons, it's just the surface. You know, what I tell you all is just the surface of what I really dealt with. The hate, I had about 10 people come to the shop before trying to jump me, and I couldn't even open the door. You know, I worked on 75th and King Drive, 75th and Vernon. So, if someone would, like, be hating on me or something, they would try and come up to the salon. When 10 people came up to the salon to try and jump me, I only knew 1 person who was out there.
Wow.
I only knew
Wow.
1 person who was out there. I did not know who all the other people was. When I was in high school, um, I got before I graduated early, I got jumped by my best friend and a girl who I didn't have no issue with. So it's the hate had become very unpredictable to where it's people who don't even know me from a can of paint who wanted to do something to me, you know? And
Yeah,
you would think, yeah, like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from?
yeah, but you gotta remember this, right? So I'll tell you, even personally for me, being in the media and being on the radio, I'm a very private person because people say things all the time on the internet.
Mhm.
Everybody is hating for some reason, right? But if they're hating, it's because they're mad at their own lives and they're jealous of the fact that you're doing
Yes.
something that they wish they could do. I mean, hell,
Mhm.
you opened a salon at 18 years old. Most kids at 18 years old are asking for permission from their parents to do stuff. Can I get a car? Can I do this? Can I do that? You had a salon at 18. Now, what made you go that direction? After you made the 200,000 in the COVID year, did you just decide, hey, I want to own my own business?
So, it was more so based off of the experiences I had in the salon, right? You know, it was very rough. It was just too much. And I'm like, I need my own space. I see what it's like to work with other people and work in other people's salons. I'm like, I need my own space. Also, between that time, I did deal with 2 losses. My dance coach had passed away, so I had started dancing when I was 10, we from Chicago. I know a lot of people probably heard about it, Verndale Smith, he had got murdered, um, on 75th Street, literally a block away from the salon that I worked at and a block away from the dance studio. So the dance studio was on the same block as the hair salon that I worked at. He passed away at the Dunkin' Donuts. And, so I was on the dance team from when I was 10 to when I was like 15, but he became like a father figure to me. So me and him was still like very close. Like he was like one of my biggest motivators. He taught me a lot about resilience and huge support system. Even one of the last times we seen each other, he was defending me from one of the older women at the shop trying to fight me. He was trying to defuse the situation because, like, the lady was just going off on me, and I called him because I'm like, "Okay, I need somebody to come defuse the situation." He had came to defuse the situation, and that was, like, one of the last times I saw him because just a couple days later, he had got murdered. But, I just veered off the salon, right. So then my, brother passed away less than a year later. My sibling, he passed away when he was 19, due to a car accident. And so I was dealing with a lot of grief, basically. I was dealing with a lot of grief at the time, and, I was in a position to where I felt like I wanted to give up on everything. It was very I was in a very dark space, and, I'm like, "Do I wanna turn this pain into purpose?" Only God gave me the strength, right? Only God gave me the strength to keep going because I already built myself to a certain level without much help, and, like, he was, like, one of my biggest support systems. Of course, my brother, he was an entrepreneur as well, so it felt like the when you go towards your goals at a young age or go towards your goals at all, it's not a lot of people who you can call on. You know, we always got like those 2 people, those 3 people, or even that one person that we know, like, you understand me. I can talk to you about anything. If I'm dealing with something, you have some directions that'll really help me. So those were my people, and I lost them. So my first thought was, that's what I did. I moved to Miami for 6 months at first. I moved to Miami, but I wasn't making money online yet. So Miami is really fast. When I moved to Miami, after they passed away, I'm like, no, I need to make more money. Because going out there trying to be a service provider doing hair, it wasn't that easy because it's super diverse. I was doing wigs. So going out there, everything was spread out. It's not like Chicago, everything
Oh, yeah,
20
because you got the little Haitian area, you got the Cuban area, you got
exactly
the black
separated.
area.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Miami well, especially South
Yes.
Beach.
So I moved to Brickell, and that's not the Haitian area, that's not the Jamaican area, that's the
Right.
Cuban, Latin area, so nobody needed my services right there. And I'm like, I'm not moving to Miami to go back to the hood. Because I went to the black people in Brickell and Midtown and Edgewater, they're spread out, and they wasn't wearing wigs. So I'm like, I'm trying to stay. I'm trying, even in Chicago, you don't want to be in the hood no more. You want to try and come to downtown to a little better area, or even like north or something like that. So I'm like, okay, I need to come back when I'm making more money online, when I'm making money passively. So I came back to Chicago and I opened a salon. So I had opened a hair salon to, have an investment, brick and mortar. I had salon suites. I had like 5, 6 suites and I had stations. I was charging them like $200 a week. I had like 8 people. So I was making a couple $1,000s in profit monthly. And it was really good. But yeah, because I was still growing. I got to the point to where I didn't have to do hair no more. I got to the point where I didn't have to do hair no more. I finally dropped my first digital offer because I said that I need to be making passive income if I'm going to leave the city. I dropped my first digital offer and I made 30,000 the first month that I dropped it. And it gave me leverage to where I didn't have to stand up doing hair no more. But once I slowed down on going to the shop, I started traveling, going out the country. The people who worked at my shop, they stopped listening to me. They stopped cleaning up. They started paying a booth rent late. I had to keep repeating myself. It's like, what is the psychology behind this? Because I worked in a hair salon all my life. When the owner starts living a life, the people who work there start acting some type of way.
Yeah, yeah.
So they ended up just leaving the shop. They were mad and they just ended up leaving. Like, oh, we found somewhere else. Mind you, I had my shop. Listen, I really cared about my shop. I made sure they were straight, all of that. But eventually they just started slowly leaving. And once they left, I closed it and I moved away. I'm like, cool,
Let
this season is done.
let me ask you this because you made your $1,000,000 by 22 years of age. You had all this tragedy. How did you not get bitter in the process? Number one.
Mm,
And number two, I'm listening you talk about your support group. One of the things that I've always lived in my life, right? I
mhm.
call it the power of four, right? I get four people. I get somebody that's older than me who can give me a little wisdom. They don't tell me what to do, but they just, give me wisdom when I got an issue, right? Then I have somebody who's, we may be in different work fields, but we kind of live in the same life going through different things at the same time. Then I have a relative who his life is all messed up. He had like 5 baby mamas and all this other stuff. And when I feel like giving up, I just look at his life and be like, nope, I can't give up because I'm not gonna be that. I'm not gonna be that guy right there.
You don't want to be
And
like,
but I love him. But it's just he's my when I feel like giving up, he's my nope. Keep
"Young
pushing, keep
single."
pushing. And then
Oh,
I take somebody that's younger than me and I try to give them wisdom. I don't tell them what to do. I try to give them wisdom and try to open up doors for them. So now that that support system is gone, you have made this $1,000,000. How do you move forward without being bitter?
nothing but God. Only God give me strength. Only God give me strength and direction, grace, humility, and I keep them real close. I'm very intentional about my faith and my relationship with God. So I definitely feel like that's the reason that I didn't turn out bitter. I didn't turn out to have hatred for people, and I've learned that the way people respond when people hate on me personally, I'm I don't be doing too much. I don't be around a lot of people. I mind my business. I got to where I am because I mind my business.
Well, let me
So,
ask you this. You say you know you mind your business and you don't be around a lot of people. Did somebody propose to you when you was live on air?
yeah, and what was I doing? Minding my business, doing a question and answer. I'm thinking he about to ask a question, and I'm about to give him some game on my own digital offer. That's why I was completely confused when it happened because I was minding my business. So, but I think that comes from people just watching me, you know? Some people really do resonate with a lot of things that I say online, the way I operate, the way I move. And then a lot of marriage talk has been coming up because people know that I'm serious about my faith and that I'm abstinent until marriage. So a lot of people has been coming hard. A lot of people
Well,
been coming hard.
well, that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? It's a
Yeah,
good thing. It's a good thing, but it's a bad thing too because you got to make sure that they're coming for the right reasons.
exactly. That's why listen, even in that situation where people wanna date me, wife me, it might sound crazy, but I'm not looking because I don't believe that she who finds a husband is he
Right.
who finds a wife.
That's
So
right.
I feel like I'm gonna do very well just continuing to sit back, do my work, and the right person will come and God will confirm that. So that's why I definitely gotta be careful when I be too pushy with anything because I don't know people's agendas. I don't know what people are really thinking. And I do have to be careful and have great discernment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was just about to tell you. You know, one of the things that I always ask God for is give me discernment.
Mhm.
I don't care about anything else. Give me discernment so I know what I'm looking at and what I'm dealing with. Now,
Mhm.
let me kind of highlight something else that you've been doing. You go online and you encourage women of all ages to go out here and make money off of these digital platforms and create. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And the reason I think that's a beautiful thing is because I tell people this all the time. I've been around a lot of smart people. I'm a very smart person. I've always been extremely smart. Women are way smarter than men. You all are more pragmatic than us. You're deeper thinkers than us. You don't get caught up on some things that we get caught up on. And
Mhm.
so when I see other women empowering women, it makes me happy because it's like I have 4 sisters. I have nieces, and it's like I want women to understand the power that they really have. And a lot of times men try to downplay women instead of uplifting them because they're
Mhm.
worried about the woman being the boss or anything like that. But
Oh, I
if
listen, I see it all the time. But also
yeah,
I help men too, that's a blessing.
yeah, but it is a blessing. But you
Mhm.
know, the men that you're helping are men who understand that hey, it's okay to be in a partnership. It's okay to
Right.
to 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 take terms in leadership because
Mhm.
your girl or your significant other may know something a lot better than you know. And
Exactly.
it's okay to fall back and follow her at times. So what made you take that position of let me go out here and really try to encourage other women?
More so it just felt like a calling. Because as I was going through my journey and doing hair and building my brand, building my business, a lot of people were always asking me for advice. A lot of women will come to me and pour their heart out. They would tell me all their business. They will be so transparent with me about what they were dealing with and the way that they admire me and wanted me to help them. I'm like, wow, like people are so comfortable with me. And it was just a overload. Until this day, it's still an overload of people who are comfortable confiding in me about the things that they are dealing with and the way that they want to be better and the way that they want to get better. So it's basically I decided to answer and be obedient to what the people and the purpose that God was sending to me. So that's when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna teach men and women how to do the things that I have done so they can achieve success as well. I'm gonna pass on all the information. So that's literally my job is to teach people exactly what I've done and what I'm still doing.
That's a beautiful thing because I really believe in the motto of if you've been blessed, be a blessing to somebody else.
Mm.
I try to tell people all the time the way you need to look at life is as you're trying to climb up to the mountaintop, you know what? Hold somebody's hand and bring them up with you. That way, when you get to the top, they're not looking up and you're not looking down. Y'all side by side. Y'all both done made it. Because it's enough for all of us out here. It really is. There's no reason to be hateful or jealous or try
You
to
don't have
close
to be lonely
doors.
at the top.
No, exactly. That's exactly right. Is exactly
Yeah.
right. Now, before we get out of here today, tell everybody how they can follow you, how they can
Mhm.
support you, how they can reach you.
Alright, you all can follow me on Instagram at the Ariel Pryor, TheArielPryor. TikTok, the same thing, the Ariel Pryor. Be careful. I have over 500,000 followers on TikTok, but anything else is fake. I only have one TikTok page and I have hundreds of fake ones. Facebook, Ariel Pryor. Same thing. Over 500,000 followers, that's me. Anything less, that's not me. Do not get tricks. We can connect there. You're gonna see all of my updates, my free classes, my motivation, and you're gonna be good.
Look, I don't have as many followers as you, but what Imma do is follow you, and every time you post something, Imma just repost it because I wanna
Thank
support you.
you.
My show is your show. If you wanna ever
Mhm,
come back on and promote anything that you're doing, just
mhm.
let us know. It is you got an open invitation anytime you wanna come on here and talk about anything you wanna talk about. Anything you wanna talk about. You can come on here and talk about.
Okay,
Imma
cool. Let
support.
me get my topics together because they
Yeah,
was
get your
the
topics
turkey I
together.
made yesterday. Maybe we gonna talk about how they talking about I looked too dressed up for my turkey to possibly come out good. And you don't know a lot of turkeys that's gone the first day. People be having turkey in their refrigerator the next
Yeah,
day, and the next
yeah.
day. Listen, a 20-pound turkey that I made was gone. That's all that mattered.
Hey, look, I'm mad I ain't getting none of that turkey now. I'm mad I ain't getting none of that turkey. So we will be following you. We will be supporting you. This show is your show. Get your topics together, girl. We're gonna bring you back on. And look, if nobody else in the shot says it, I'm proud of you. I'm gonna support you 1,000%. Thank you so much, Ariel Pryor, for being with us today on Common Ground. And thank you guys for listening. We will talk to you soon. This is ground. God bless.